they got fat. Look at that. They're gonna love this. What's going on, Slay Bays? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is a full face using only Wet n Wild products. Now, majority of the products that I have in today's video are from Wet n Wild, with the exception of my pressed powder, loose powder, and primer, because I do have a brand new primer that I want to share with you guys in today's video from COL-LAB. I am literally so excited, so I cannot wait to just jump right into it. But if you guys are excited for another affordable drugstore cruelty-free makeup toot, then make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already, and also click that bell so that you guys are notified every time I upload, which is 2 times a week, every single week. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you guys don't want to miss out on the fun. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the video. So first and foremost, I am going to start off with my brow, simply because I do just want to kind of get it out of the way so that way I don't have to worry about it. Wet n Wild did just launch a brow pomade. This is called the Ultimate Brow Pomade, and I picked mine up in the shade Brunette. Now, just looking at the overall packaging, I do think that this is going to be relatively doable to the Benefit Cabral based on packaging alone, but I'm not entirely sure how the actual formula is going to perform when I put it on my brow, so we're going to find out together. I also have this product right here by Wet n Wild. This is a micro brow pencil, and I did pick mine up in the shade Deep Brown. I'm going to start off with the brow pencil just because I do like to just get the general shape down whenever I am filling in my brows. So I'm just going to quickly underline my brow, and I'm not pressing down hard at all. I will say that the pigmentation on the brow product is very, very nice so far, which is great. And the color looks really, really good as well. I'm also going to take this brow pencil and just lightly draw a line at the top of my brow as well to just connect everything together and just get the general outline down and in place. So far, I think that's looking really good. I'm now going to use the opposite end of the product, which is the spoolie, and I'm just going to simply fade out those lines that we created. And honestly, I think I'll be good to go with just this brow product, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the pomade to let you guys know what my initial thoughts on that product is. So this right here is the packaging on the pomade, which is very, very cute. You take this part off and you stick it at the very top, and then you have like an elongated brush. When you screw it off, you do have the pomade at the very bottom, so it is very, very convenient in that sense. One thing I do notice in drugstore products when they try to replicate the Benefit Cabral is that this part is a little bit loose, but I don't find the Wet n Wild one to be loose at all. I also noticed that this isn't an angular brush. It is more of like a circular brush, which is a little bit different for this kind of product. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly flick a few strokes of this pomade within my brow to fill it in a little bit more. One thing I will say is I'm not a huge fan of the actual brush right here. I wish it was more of like an angular brush, just because that's what I'm used to, and I feel like that's what the average consumer is used to whenever they are going in with a pomade. But definitely let me know what you guys like better. Do you guys like a brush like this that's a little bit more circular, or do you guys like something that's a little bit more angular? I will definitely say that the brow products are pretty good. I really love the color and the overall shape I was able to achieve with the products. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I am currently in the shade Light Medium, and I'm going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and I'm simply going to use this to underline and carve out my brows. I'm also going to put a little bit of this concealer all over my eyelids to act as an eyelid primer. We're now going to move on to actual eyeshadow. Now, I was browsing through the Wet n Wild website, and I saw that they launched new eyeshadow palettes, which I was so excited about. I was going to get them all, but a lot of them were actually sold out, with the exception of this one called My Glamour Squad. Now, I have no idea why this one wasn't sold out, because it literally is like almost a spot on dupe for ABH Soft Glam. Like, look how beautiful these colors are. I know some people are just sick of like the warm and the neutrals, but I'm all about it. It never gets old, and this is very, very inexpensive. So I'm going to go in with this palette today to create a very neutral eye look. The first shade I'm going to take in the palette is this transitional color right here, and I'm going to take that on an M441 and work it into my crease to act as my transitional color. Alright, so now that I have that color blown out and my crease is my transitional color, I definitely want to amp things up and deepen things up just a little bit more. So I'm going to go in with the Sienna shade right here to really deepen up the crease. Now the brush I'm using for this step is an M4 M433 by Morphe, and I'm really just packing it right here towards the outer V, and I'm also taking this again in the crease, taking my brush from outer to inner corner. Then going right back into that M441, I'm just going to take my brush in small circular motions to just blend out any harsh edges. Following that, I'm going to pick up this shade right here on an M507 by Morphe, and I'm going to start right here closest to the base of the lash, and I'm just going to flick it inwards and really just deepen up this outer corner. Once I have the color placement down, I'm going to go right back into an M441, and I'm just going to go in small circular motions right here towards the very outer V, where I place that very deep mulberry shade just to really buff and blow it out. I don't really want any harsh edges here. I really just want to focus on blending, just so that way this look just has a very, very seamless blend to it. I will definitely say that the formula in this palette isn't any different than any of the other formulas within Wet n Wild eyeshadow palettes. It's very, very beautiful. The colors are very pigmented, blendable, and rich in color, which you guys know I am all about. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that Photo Focus Wet n Wild concealer, and I'm going to use a little bit of this to cut my crease, just to carve out a little bit of lid space. I do want this look to be a little bit more like amped up, a little bit more precise, and typically when I go in and I cut my crease, it's because I want the lid color to really pop, stand out, and be super crisp and precise. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Then with a fluffy brush, I'm just going to kind of pat the concealer just so that way it's nice, flat, and even, and I don't have any globs of concealer just sitting on the eyelid, because it makes it a lot easier to actually blend this matte shadow in with the shimmer shadow I'm going to put there in a second. So after I have a little bit of lid space cut out, I'm going to go in with that sienna color from the palette on an M433 by Morphe, and I'm simply going to just buff this color inwards a little bit. And I'm doing this before I actually go in with my shimmer, because sometimes I notice when I go in with my shimmer and then try to clean up this area, I'll get shimmer like all over the matte, and that's not exactly what I want. So I'm taking a little bit of this shadow and then just kind of flicking it inwards to get a better blend going. Following that, I am going to go in with a loose pigment. This is the Color Icon loose pigment in the shade Carol, and what I love about their loose pigments is that it does come with a stopper, so you have to just flick it upwards, and as you can see, you could just pour a little bit out in the cap, and it doesn't make so much of a mess, if you guys get my drift. Now you could definitely use the shimmers within this palette. They are extremely creamy and blendable and pigmented, but I did kind of just want to switch things up for the sake of this video, and that is exactly why I'm going to be using Carol. I'm going to spritz the brush with some Fix Plus just to ensure that it lays super flat and even on the lid and I don't get much fallout, and I am just using a flat brush and I'm just patting it right here on the lid. Oh, girl, she is foiled. Then I'm just going to take my ring finger and I'm just going to pat alongside the edges just to give it a better blend. So for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the way that this eye look is turning out. However, if you guys can see right up in this area, it doesn't look as blended as I would like. So I'm going to go in with a clean M433 and I'm just going to run it right alongside the edges just to get more of a cleaner blend. Honestly, you guys know how I feel about blending. Like, blending's key. Major key alert! And it's really going to make or break your eye look, so make sure you guys always take the time out to blend. Following that, I am going to go in with my favorite brow bone highlight, which is in Light from the original Jaclyn Hill palette, but you guys can use whatever it is that you want. Following that, I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and do a little bit of cleanup right under here where I had some fallout. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the eyes and I'm going to start working on the skin. I'm going to step away from Wet n Wild products and I'm going to use our brand new Pep Talk Primer. It's not available yet. It does launch in February, so I am teasing you guys a little bit, but I'm obsessed with the packaging of this primer. I also love the pump and I'm so excited I finally get to use this on camera and actually share it with you. So I like to take about 2 pumps. What I love about this primer is that it is really going to refresh the skin and help brighten. It feels amazing on the skin. Honestly, so soothing. You can use this as an overall serum. You can mix it in with your foundation. You can use it as a regular primer, whatever it is that you want. And it does have grapefruit and lemon extracts in it, so you are going to be able to smell that within the primer. If you guys aren't really into scents like that, you may not like it, but in my defense, it's not too strong. So many brands are coming out with stick foundations right now, and honestly, I'm all about it. You guys know I love a good stick foundation, so I'm really excited to try out the brand new stick foundations by Wet n Wild. Since I did order these online on their website, I had to pick up a few different shades because I was so confused as to which shade I would actually be, so I'm hoping one of the three matches me, you know? So first and foremost, I did pick up Classic Ivory, Buff Beige, and last but not least, I picked up Soft Beige. So how this is going to play out is I'm actually going to swatch all three on my face to find which one is going to be my best match. So I'm going to start off with Classic Ivory. The next one I'm going to swatch is Soft Beige. And lastly, I'm going to swatch Buff Beige. So I think I'm leaning towards the one in the middle right here, just because I think this one is just slightly too light. The one in the middle is called Soft Beige, but let me know at home which one would you guys personally choose. Instead of wiping this all off, I'm just going to continue to build on it. Because why waste product? To buff and blend out the foundation, I will be using some makeup sponges by Wet n Wild, which I have never used in my life. Now these are brand new. I have the makeup sponge, and then I also have mini makeup sponges. Look how cute the packaging is. Like, I couldn't even resist. So I'm gonna put these underwater and we're gonna see how they perform. Always dampen your makeup sponges before actually going in and using them, because it's really going to blend out your foundation a lot better. It definitely is medium coverage because I can definitely see some of my imperfections still peeking through, but again, this is only the first layer. And I will say the sponge is really soft, which I like. And I also really love the pointed tip because I feel like I can get right here in all the crevices, like around my nose and directly underneath my eyes, which is awesome. So this right here is the first layer, and I can definitely say I'm not too impressed just because I do feel like it's not really covering all the areas that I want it to cover. So I'm gonna go in within an additional layer and see if I could really build this up. Okay, so I can definitely say that this is definitely building up to the coverage that I am used to, so things are looking pretty good. So the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer is actually going to be a little bit too dark for what I'm going for, so I'm going to use this by Milani. This is the Conceal and Perfect Long Wearing Concealer. You guys saw me use this in Tuesday's video, so I will just be using a little bit of this underneath the eyes. To buff and blend out the concealer, I will be using the mini makeup sponge, which is so freaking cute. It definitely got a lot bigger than when I first showed it to you guys, but I love the size, and I feel like the pointed tip is really gonna help me get right in the very inner corner. Okay, so I definitely feel like the concealer blended out really nicely, and I feel like the sponge did a very good job just buffing and blending the product. It's definitely not hard. It definitely is a very soft sponge. So if you guys are thinking about getting these sponges, I say yes. I'm now going to move on to loose powder. I will be using the COL-LAB Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Powder in the shade Porcelain Ivory. Now you guys know anytime I use a cream product, I do like to double powder, which essentially means I like to go in with a loose powder and set my entire face, just so that way the cream product doesn't slip and slide throughout the day. I especially do this whenever I use a cream foundation because sometimes I notice they get very oily on me throughout the day, or they just kind of like wear off, and that's not what I want in this case. So I am just gonna go in and take preventative measures and just double powder. Again, I don't have an actual face powder from Wet n Wild, so I will use this one from Milani. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder in the shade 04 Natural. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a big powder brush and really just dust this all over the face to double powder. I've used these bronzers quite a bit since I got them, and they are the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzers. I have Ticket to Brazil and also Sunset Striptease. In today's video, I will be using Sunset Striptease to really bronze the skin and give me a little bit more color. I'm also going to take a little bit of that bronzer alongside my nose to just shape it up a little bit. And to clean things up, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the COL-LAB powder. For highlight, I'm going to use this by Wet n Wild. This is the I'm So Lit Mega Glow Loose Highlighting Powder. You guys, this is so blinding. It's unreal. It's not too glittery. I actually really like it on the skin. I feel like it's nice, it's poppin', and if you want to like glow, then this is the highlighting powder for you. It's literally one of those highlighting powder that just like melts into the skin. It's not sitting on top of the skin at all, and it looks so incredibly natural. Well, not like natural, but like not powdery. You guys get me. I'm gonna take a big powder brush and just brush off the bake. I'm even going to go as far as taking the highlighting powder, spritzing a little bit of Fix Plus on a brush, and popping it right in my very inner corner for a really pretty pop. For blush, I will be using the Color Icon blush in the shade Mellow Wine. And honestly, this is a iconic color for Wet n Wild. I feel like everybody knows and loves this color. It's not new, but I love this color so much. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that Burnt Sienna in the palette on a flat definer brush, and I'm simply pushing it closest to the lash line, and I'm kind of just like stamping it at first because I'm going to buff and blow it out here in a second. Then with an M507, I'm just simply going to really buff and diffuse out this lower lash line. Then with that deep mulberry color on that same flat definer brush, I'm just going to press this right here closest to the lash line without really buffing and blending it out to really just define out this lash line. So Wet n Wild dropped a bunch of new mascaras. I picked up 2 of them. The first one I picked up is this one. This is the Boost in Volume Dramatic Fuller Lashes Mascara. I have mine in very black, and then I also have another one, which is more of a thinner wand, and I figured I could use this on my bottom lashes, and this is the Boost in Length Longer Looking Lashes, and again, I picked this up in very black. So first and foremost, I am going to start off with the Mega Volume Mascara for my upper lashes. Ooh. The wand on that is pretty big, which I'm not mad at. Anytime I'm going for like fuller lashes, I always look for a brush that is a lot bigger and thicker. So we'll see how this goes. I don't feel like it's giving me as much volume as I would like, to be honest, but it's not terrible. What do you guys think? We're going to move on to the other mascara. This is the Boost in Length. And as you can see, the wand on this is super skinny. Honestly, I think that this is going to be the perfect bottom lash mascara. So I do really like what it did to my bottom lashes. It made them extremely long, and it really just coated them nice and even. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop on false lashes, and then we can come right back and we could finish off with the lips. So lashes are on, and I wanted to give my post notification shout out of the day. So huge shout out to Diane Gregorio. I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but she says, welcome back, Ash. Post notifications on since day 1, #SlayBays. So if you guys want to be mentioned in my last video, all you guys have to do is turn on your post notifications and also use the #SlayBays in the comments to be featured in my next video. With that, I'm just going to put a little bit of a nude liner in my waterline. This one just so happens to be from Rimmel because I'm kind of feeling like it's missing like a little bit of like oomph, if you know what I mean. You can definitely see a clear difference between this eye and this eye. This one just gives it a little bit more of like a polished, like poppin' look. Yeah.
Rolling with the homies. Rolling with the homies. Yeah, let's do it.
For my lip color, Wet n Wild came out with the brand new Perfect Pout lipstick. And the one I'm going to use today is called Bare Your Soul. So I'll definitely say that I really like the formula of this Wet n Wild Perfect Pout lipstick. The formula is like a matte formula, but it's a movable matte. It's a comfortable matte. You guys know how I feel about matte lipsticks in general. Like if they're drying, I'm not about it, but this one definitely is more of a movable matte formula. I'm going to top things off with the Liquid Catsuit High Shine lipstick. This one right here is in the shade Send Nudes. And I'm only going to take a little bit of this and pop it in the very center of the lips. And to finish everything off today, I'm going to go in with the Natural Finish Setting Spray. And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look using all Wet n Wild products. Now, I know I sprinkled some products here and there, but for the most part, all of the Wet n Wild products I used within this video, I really did like. The foundation, you guys, I am so obsessed with it. My skin looks so beautiful. It doesn't feel heavy or greasy or anything like that. I also feel like the color I picked is a very good match for me. A lot of you guys also asked how I felt about the Mega Glow Loose highlighting powder and I'm So Lit. I did use this in my very first video of the year and I didn't really talk too much about it, but you guys, after testing it out and wearing it and things like that, I will definitely say I love this loose highlighting powder. It melts so seamlessly into the skin, and you would think a loose highlighting powder, it would kind of sit on top of the skin, but this does not do that at all. It blended so nicely into the skin. It looks so natural and just glowy. The only thing I will say I didn't really love within the video was the Mega Volume Mascara. I didn't feel like it gave my lashes that much volume, which is why I decided to pop on falsies. I did really like the Mega Length though. So those are just my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Let me know how you guys feel about any of these products down below in the comments. And if you guys still are not subscribed, what are you doing? Make sure you guys press that subscribe button and also click that bell to turn on your post notifications so that way maybe you guys could be mentioned as my post notification shout out next week. I love you and I will talk to you guys all very soon. Deuces. You guys made it to the outro of the outro. And you guys, can we talk about this cup right now? Like, Babito picked this out for us at Target. It was on sale for like $8. Simple, modern, all black, very much on brand, and we made our own iced coffee and put it in here and it is so good. Anyway, subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already by clicking my face right up here, and check out this video and this video. If you guys like this one, trust me when I tell you, you're gonna like some of my other affordable looks. I'm just saying. I love you and goodbye.